Good morning, everyone. Is the slide visible to you all?
Good
Yes,
afternoon,
sir.
sir.
Good afternoon. Warm good afternoon to each and everyone. Is the slide visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So today, at least I can tell you that we have already completed this chapter number 27. Now we will only concentrate on solving the problems today. Okay. And let me inform you one thing. Tomorrow we are having a lab from 2 to 4. But fortunately or unfortunately, my second dose of vaccination is scheduled tomorrow at 3 to 5 at AIMS Hospital. So maybe I can just take a class of half an hour. But the thing is that definitely I will be running the video of chapter number 28, okay, consecutively. But the problem is that I will not be available to attend the class. I'll be playing the video from 2 o'clock, and hopefully that video is will continue for 1.5 hours. So maybe 3 to 3:30 means 2 to 3:30 it will continue on its own. I'll uh, program it to run in a loop. So let it run. So may not be I will be able to attend the class. Okay, and so please be online whatever be the case, and please go through the video, because once you go through the video at least you will get some idea what we are actually going to cover in this new chapter. That will definitely be helpful on your part to understand the concepts. So I hope you people will cooperate tomorrow. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Sure,
That,
sir.
yes. Because sometimes we do also have some personal problem. Actually, our college is also vaccinating we people. But the thing is that since I have taken the vaccine prior, so my second dose is scheduled tomorrow. And I tried to reschedule it on Saturday, but unfortunately there was no slot for that, and I was forced to book a appointment for tomorrow. So please just help me out in this situation. Okay, so let us start our chapter. Today we'll try to solve the problems. So let us start with the first problem, that is your test your understanding problem. Okay, so just go through this problem. Just have a look at this problem. So this is a figure on the right which shows a uniform magnetic field. So since the magnetic field is indicated by means of cross, so you very well know that that means the direction of the uniform magnetic field is towards the inside of the screen. A particle with a negative charge moves in this plane. So you can see there is a blue color particle which is carrying a negative charge, and it has entered into this uniform magnetic field at 90 degree with a velocity of v. Now the question is in which direction the particle is actually going to move. Okay, so there are three paths given over here, path 1, 2 and 3. Now the thing is that you have to identify what should be the nature of the path that is traced out by this particular particle.
Sir,
Yes,
part one.
path.
Part 3.
Okay, so
Part one.
all path
One.
1. Okay, any other thing?
Sir, part 3.
Yes, actually it is the correct one. Okay, whatever be the case, you people have tried, that is more than enough for me, because at least you people are trying section 11. They are not even trying the problems. Okay, fine. So it is very natural that in order to find the direction of the, because you see, when a particle enters or a moving particle enters into a uniform magnetic field or a non-uniform magnetic field, it is going to be acted upon by some magnetic force. Now that magnetic force is actually going to going to change the course of the movement of this particle. Now, so first thing is that we have to ascertain the direction of this force. Now, as you people know that this is how we are actually going to ascertain the direction. The steps are given. Now I have told you that we are going to make use of this right hand thumbs rule in order to find the direction of the magnetic force. Now what does that says? It says that first what you have to do, you have to take your right hand and place all the four fingers except the thumb along the direction of your V vector. Okay, just do it. I cannot see you, but please do it. So once you are placing the fingers along this V vector, now you try to twist your finger, okay, curl your finger towards this B vector. Now as you can see that over here the B vector is directed into the screen. So naturally all your four fingers will have to be curled in the direction towards this B vector. Now if you are doing it, what you are getting? You are getting your thumb to be directed upwards. Okay, let me show you. So if I am going to apply your right hand thumbs rule, this is your V. So all your fingers are curled over here. Now if you will curl your finger, you will see that B vector is directed in this manner. So obviously your Fm vector, that is the magnetic force, is going to act in a direction which is in the upward direction. But this is only valid if it is a positive charge. So somebody was trying to tell me that it will be path 1. Okay, you have tried it, this is well and good. But remember that over there when I was explaining you regarding the direction of the magnetic force, I have told you that if it is a positive charge, then your thumb is going to point towards the direction of the magnetic force. But over here it is a negative charge. So if it is a negative charge, then the direction must be reversed. So if it is reversed, then obviously the actual direction will be downwards. Okay. So for this particular particle which is carrying a negative charge, the force, magnetic force, will be downwards because this is a negative charge. Now your V vector is directed in this manner. So obviously kinetic energy is trying to move this particle in this direction, whereas your F is trying to pull it downwards. So naturally what is going to happen? It is going to be acted upon by an force which is trying to move it in this direction. So ultimately what will happen? This particle will trace out a curve or a trajectory in this manner, which is similar to that of path 3. So the answer is path 3. That means it is going to move in the direction depicted in path 3. Is there any problem? Yes?
No, sir.
Okay. So the one who has told it to one, please try to understand this concept. Now I hope that the only mistake that you made is that you have assumed it to be a positive charge. But
Yes,
remember,
sir.
it is a, yes, I could understand because at least I am a teacher for the last 15 years. I know where students used to make the mistake. So naturally, it is a negative charge. So please remember that usually in the exam, we are very fond of twisting the questions. Okay. So please go through the question very minutely. Otherwise, because some sort of details are silently fed into the question, so you have to consider those details. So over here, I know most of the students, they used to tell that it is going to follow the path 1. So that is not at all a problem. The problem is that it is a negative charge. So negative charge is directed in the direction, or the magnetic force is always going to be directed in the direction which is opposite to that if we have assumed it to be a positive charge. So let me write it down for you all. So those who can't understand or are having some difficulty in understanding, so let me tell you that over here, let me write it down. So the answer is path 3. Oh, sorry. The answer is path 3. Now, why is it so? Apply right hand thumbs rule. Okay. Uh, Considering, okay, right, applies right hand thumbs rule, considering or assuming, rather I will write assuming the charge to be positive. Okay, so the direction of magnetic force is upwards. Okay, is upwards. But since the question says that the charge, okay, but the question says that the charge is negative. Hence, the magnetic force acts in the downward direction. Okay? So, this is not the complete answer. So, the next thing is that both velocity and magnetic force acts on the same particle. Okay, hence the particle will press out the path 3. Okay, so those who can't make out this, please, I have written the answer for you all. Please note it down. It is very simple. The only thing is that in order to find the direction of the magnetic field, first you have to consider it to a positive charge. Find the direction by using right hand thumbs rule. So once you have found the direction, just reverse it for the negative charge. Now what happens? One vector in this direction, the other vector downward. So naturally it is going to trace it in this path 3. So that's it. Okay, so I hope everybody have understood it. Those who have not understood, don't worry about that. When I will be sending you the slides today, you can see it for yourself, and the answer is already given to you. Okay, so let us now move on to the second problem. Okay, so here comes the second problem. Now just have a look. Imagine moving along the axis of the current carrying loop in the figure. Okay, so basically what happens? Okay, let me go for the slide. So basically we are trying to move in this path. We are trying to move along this axis. This is usually known as the axis of the coil. Okay, current carrying loop in the figure starting at a point well to the left. So we will start from here to the left. So this is the left point, and let us say this is your right point. So basically we are trying to move from the left point to the right point. starting at a point well to the left of the loop and ending at the point well to the right of the loop. Now the first question, how would the magnetic field strength vary as you move along this path? That means it is asking how your magnetic field, that is your B vector, is going to vary as you are moving from left to right. So this is the question. So if I am going to plot it on a curve, so let us say the first thing is that when we are talking about distance, so let us keep it like this. Let us draw the axes. So this is your origin. So from origin we will start. So origin, at the origin we have the left point. At this point we have the right end, and here let us say the center. So the center is over here. So we have to trace out how this B vector is actually going to vary as we are moving from left to the right. So there are three number of options for you. It will be same at all points along the path. It would increase and then decrease. It would decrease and then increase. Okay, so this is the first part. Next one is, would the magnetic field direction vary as you move along this path? So we have to also ascertain that whether there will be a variation in the direction of this B vector or not. Okay. So who is going to answer this? Just think about it. Classes should be as interactive as possible. Please don't mind telling the wrong answer. Doesn't matter, because if you are
Sir,
trying, tell me.
Sir, the first question answer will be it would decrease then increase.
It would decrease and then increase. Okay, so
Towards the center it will increase, and away from it will decrease.
Okay. So first is it would increase and then decrease, or the which option? Please tell me.
Sir, 2. Option 2.
Option number 2. So almost all of you are correct. So this is the right option. Now, can anybody tell me why it is so? Because you see, we are not giving this test your understanding problem like this. Obviously, these questions can also be modified, and actually I am trying to answer this in a modified manner. Or rather, I will say that you may be given three number of curves and you have to identify. Obviously, over here it is written in words that it will be same everywhere. So for that, you may get a curve like this. Then you may find it to increase, first increase and then decrease, or you may find it like this. So there are three number of curves that may be given in place of these statements. Now you have to choose the correct one. So this is how the questions may be a little bit twisted. Okay, because let me tell you one thing, that in GATE examination, okay, maybe after 4 years, if you want to pursue your master degree, post graduation, then you have to get GATE exam. So in the GATE exam, they don't ask questions in a very simple manner. The question may be simple, but they will ask you in a very twisted manner, and you have to identify the correct one. The reason is that they just want to test your fundamental and your application capability. Okay, so out of all these three, you people have identified that it is the second one. So maybe in the exam you will get a curve like this. So this is the correct one. Okay. Now sometimes in GATE exam, they used to tell that whether it is going to be a platypus curve, or whether it is going to be a straight line curve, or whether it is going to be a parabolic curve. Now, out of these three, this is known as a platypus curve. Now, this concept is from mathematics. So, this is how even in GATE exam, you also have to appear for mathematics paper. And over there, they will not actually ask the question directly. They may ask you the question combining all the fields, maybe mathematics, maybe this electromagnetic field theory, along with some circuit theory questions. So, this is how the questions are put. So those who are interested for GATE, please take the question very seriously. Think about what are the alternative questions that can be asked on this. Okay, this is how I have actually prepared during my days. So that is why I am telling you this is the simplest way you can build up your fundamentals right from the first year. Okay, forget about all those things. Now you people have answered it correctly. Now the question is why it is so. What is the reason behind it?
Sir,
Maybe,
the magnetic
huh?
field will be more denser at nearer to the loop, and away from it, it will be less denser.
Okay, you have got out of 100 marks, you must have got 95 marks, but still 5 marks is deducted because you have actually not placed the wordings properly. Okay, you are absolutely correct. Now the thing is that rather than telling it in that way, let me tell you in another way. As I have told you, when the magnetic field lines are itself denser, the magnetic field is stronger. Now this concept I have taught you. Where I have taught you, just have a look. Maybe somewhere over here, just over here. Where adjacent field lines are close together, the field magnitude is large. Where these fields are far apart, the field magnitude is small. So this is the actual reason behind this question. So you are almost correct. Thank you for that. So maybe in the exam you will find this types of question along with why, what is the reason behind your answer. This question can also be asked to you. Maybe you will get a question of this type for 2 marks. Then another 2 mark will be explain the reason behind it, and the last one would be would the magnetic field vary as you moved along the path, because most probably we'll get 10 number of questions, each of 6 marks, and each of these 6 marks is again subdivided into 3 marks. So in total you will get around 30 number of questions for 3 hours. So that was our usual pattern when we are conducting the exam in offline mode. So maybe this time also you may get questions like this, because now we are using computers, so naturally drawing these curves and all this stuff is very easy on our part. So please keep yourself prepared for this type of questions, right? Okay, you are absolutely correct. Since as you can see at the leftmost point, these lines are far apart from each other, and as you are moving towards the center, these lines are getting denser and denser. So naturally the magnetic field strength is going to increase. Similarly, as you move away from the center towards the right end point, the lines are becoming rarefied. So naturally, what is going to happen is that your magnetic field strength is going to decrease. So you are absolutely correct. Only thing is that you also need to take care of the wordings. Thank you. Next question is, would the magnetic field direction vary as you move along the path? Yes?
No, sir.
Yes, there will be no change in the direction, because you see over here the hint is given, all these lines are directed in the same manner. Okay, so all of them, maybe this is the south pole and this is the north pole portion. Okay, so it may find that all these lines are moving in one direction. Okay, so you can say that when we are having a current carrying loop, the magnetic field strength increases as one moves towards the center of the loop without a change in the direction of the magnetic field. So this experiment you have actually been shown, because this is one of the experiments that is being conducted in our lab, and I have also shown you that video. So that is the reason behind this. Okay, next question, let us move on. Okay, now maybe you may require some pen and paper. Okay, so if you double, okay, you are having a particle over here, positively charged particle, and as I have told you, if you are going to shoot it into a uniform magnetic field at a constant speed or a velocity of v vector, directed 90 degree to the homogeneous field or uniform field, then it is going to trace out a circular path of motion. Okay, so this thing you have already studied. Now one question, if I would have shoot it at some angle to this magnetic field, what would have happened? What would have happened? Remember?
Sir, helical.
Yes, very good. Thank you. So it seems that you have taken interest. You are learning it. Sincere effort. Thank you very much. So, as I told you, in your course, there are actually two ways or two paths which you need to be studied. First one is if the velocity is 90 degree to the magnetic field, then it is going to trace out a circular path. Similarly, if it is so means enters at a velocity v vector but making some angle with your magnetic field, then obviously it is going to move in a spiral path. If it is a positively charged particle, then the spiral path will try to move that particle out of this field. Whereas if this is a negative charge, it will try to move deep into this magnetic field. Well and good. Similarly, in case of a particle injected into this magnetic field at a velocity v making perpendicular angle, if it is positive it is going to rotate in anticlockwise direction, and if it is negative it is going to rotate in clockwise direction. So these are the stuff that we have studied in the class. Now let us try to solve a problem. So if you double the speed of the charged particle in the figure while keeping the magnetic field the same, that means the charge as well as the mass is not going to change. Okay, how does it affect the radius of the trajectory? So there are various options. Now you have to pick the correct option, and also you have to tell me what is the reason behind it.
Sir, it will be halved.
It will be half. Okay, we will see it. So you are telling that it is going to be half. Okay, so one of the answer is this one. It is going to be half. Okay, is there any other answer? Is there any other?
Sure,
Yes.
but sir, I'm not sure, but second option, twice as large.
Okay, we'll see that.
Sir, twice as large.
Twice as large. Okay, we will see. Anything else? Okay, so now let us try to see how we are going to solve the problem. Now I have already told you that R is equal to, I have already given this, R is equal to, now just, okay, in both the cases your R is given by MV by QB. Okay, now so we'll use that one over here. So R is equal to MV by modulus of Q by B. Okay, now that means this clearly shows that my R is directly proportional to the velocity.
Directly proportional to V. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you both are correct that if you double the speed of the charged particle keeping the magnetic field, so this is the magnetic field, the charge and the mass as constant. Okay, so your R is directly proportional to V. That means if you are increasing the velocity or the speed twice, then obviously your radius is going to be twice the original radius. So the correct answer is bit 2. Got it? Is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I was quite sure that you could have answered it correctly. But what is a mistake I feel you have done is that you have just answered it very fast. No need. No need. This is not at all a competition. So take your own time, think about the problem and tell me the answer. Because I am in no hurry. You people should not also be in a hurry. So just go through the problem. I have told you how to tackle these types of problem. Always see what is given in the problem. So in this problem, it is given that the mass, charge and velocity, all of them are the mass, charge and the magnetic field, they are going to remain constant. what it is saying, the statement or the condition is that we are going to increase the velocity. So what will be the effect on the radius? So write down which formula you are actually going to make use in order to solve this problem. So this is the formula, and you have to write that R is directly proportional to V because your M, Q, B, all of them are remaining constant. So if I am going to double the speed, obviously the radius is also going to be doubled. Okay, so this is how you have to answer it if it is a 2 marks question. Next is how this affect the time required for one complete circular orbit. So if I pick up the right one,
1. Time is unchanged.
time is unchanged. Okay. Is there anything else? Even if you are in a doubt, please tell me. As
Sir,
yes, tell me.
the time is unchanged.
Okay, the time is going to remain unchanged. Okay, let us see. Can you all tell me what is the reason behind it? Yes, that is the correct option. Now the question is why it is going to remain
Time
up.
is independent of radius and velocity.
Okay, that's correct. Now, let me tell you in a very simple word, you are absolutely correct. Your time taken to complete a revolution, okay, one complete orbit, time is equal to nothing but distance by speed. Okay, so distance over here is equal to 2 pi r. 2 pi r, and the speed, let us say, is the magnitude of this velocity v. Now when you have doubled the velocity, you have actually doubled the radius. Okay, so 2 pi, instead of r you can write it as 2r. Similarly, for velocity you have to write it as 2v. Now you see both of them are the same, so naturally the time is going to remain the same, or it is going to remain unchanged. So every time, maybe in the exam you may be asked to answer it, you have to give the reason behind it, so please solve it in this manner. So all of you are almost every time I have got the correct answer. I am very happy with you all. Thank you very much. Let us now move on to some other problems. Okay, so by now I have the confidence that my students can answer this one. Okay, just go through the problem and solve it. Just go through the problem, go through the diagram, think about it. Yes, have you gone through it? Take your time. Because today I have to complete this chapter so that tomorrow I can start with the new chapter, because we are running out of time. We have to complete 28, 29, 30, 31 and 32. Okay, have you gone through the problem? The figure at the right shows a top view of a two conducting rails. So here I am having two rails, okay, and a conducting bar. Okay, let me explain this question to you all. So here this is a rail. Rail means it is a pair of conductors placed parallel to each other, and there is a conducting bar. So this one is a conducting bar that can slide over this rail. A uniform magnetic field is directed perpendicular to the plane of the figure as shown. Okay, so the uniform magnetic field is actually directed towards your screen or inside of your screen. A battery is to be connected to the two rails. Okay, so basically I have to connect these wires across either A or across B. A battery is to be connected to the two rails so that the switch is closed, current will flow through the bar and causes a magnetic force to push the bar to the right. In which orientation, A or B, should the battery be placed in the circuit? Or in simple word, whether this one is going to be positive or this end is going to be positive, you have to identify. Now do it. Interesting problems. Interesting problems. Not much theoretical, only test your intelligence. Everybody is born intelligent. The only thing is that how you exploit your intelligence, that does matters. Yes. No answer till now. Okay, I will wait. No problem. I have a lot of time to wait. It's around 1:40. We have 20 minutes more. I am giving you 5 minutes of time. At 1:43, I will. You tell me the answer. I'll just have a go and have a glass of water.
Sir, sir,
Yes.
sir, is it A?
Yes, it is correct. It is A. You are absolutely correct. Now the problem is you have to tell me the reason behind it. But let others also. All of you have got the answer. Now keep the reason ready with you all. Yes, that is absolutely correct. It will be A. Very nice. Because maybe this is the first time any of the first year students have actually answered this question correctly. Because most of the time the students, they don't give any answer. So you all have got the answer. Now you have to tell me why it is going to be A. Now the one who has actually told me that it is A, he has got the answer. He knows the reason behind it. But those who don't know the reason, think about what may be the reason behind it. Yes.
Sir, we have to use that right hand thumb rule.
I don't think here actually you require any right hand thumb rule. Now, obviously, because the direction of the force, magnetic force, is given to you, so why at all you require this right hand thumbs rule? Okay, fine. You have to use it, no doubt. Actually, this question is given in a reverse order. Okay. Yes, you have to make use of right hand thumbs rule. I was sorry to tell that no need, but actually you require. Now the question is given in a reverse manner. Okay, just think about it. Now every time I should not answer it, huh? Otherwise you all will be spoon fed. Huh? I have a lot of faith in this section, students. You people answer very nicely. I am very happy. Even today, I was not expecting that somebody from you will answer it correctly. So, is there anyone who is confident to answer me the reason behind this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I know. You must have got the answer. Okay, what is your name?
Sir Ashutosh.
Okay, Asutosh, that's very nice of you. Now, please tell me what is the reason behind it.
Sir, it is because of the motion of the electrons in the wire.
Exactly, exactly. You are absolutely correct. Now, everybody, please try to look at this problem. So, he has answered it. Let me tell you in a very simple manner. Okay, so this is the positive terminal, and this is the negative terminal, and this is configuration A. Now, you see, when this wire is connected to positive and this wire is connected to negative, okay, and the switch is switched on, right? Now what happens? Okay, before that just have a look at this diagram. Now if the field is directed towards your screen and the force is directed as shown, then tell me in which direction the charges are going to move. And remember, this is connected across this configuration A. So the current is actually flowing in this direction. Okay. So the current will flow in this direction. It will flow in this direction, and it will move in this path, and it will move in this direction. So current moving in this direction means your electrons are actually moving in the opposite direction, because this is your conventional current and your electrons move in a direction which is opposite to the conventional direction. So as I told you that positive charges never moves, it is only the electrons which move. Now that means the electrons are actually moving on this conducting bar in this direction at drift velocity. Okay. So if the electrons are moving in this path at drift velocity, then you apply your right hand thumb rule, you will get the answer. Just do it.
So I was getting the wrong answer by applying right hand thumb rule.
You're getting the wrong answer. Why you will get? No need.
Sir, the conventional current is moving upward in that rod.
Conventional current is moving upwards. Why? Now conventional current actually is nothing but the flow of positive charge, whereas the current is actually constituted by the flow of electrons. So the electrons are moving in this path, right? Okay, let me clear it once again and I will tell you it has become a little bit jumbled. Now look over here. Now if force is directed from left to right, then in which direction the electrons need to move? Just tell me. So place
Will
your
move
thumb.
downward.
It will move downward.
Uh,
Okay, let me check it. So if I am having my thumb along the direction of your F vector, right? just place your thumb along the direction of F vector, right? And twist your fingers. Twist your fingers. Then these fingers must be in the direction of your B vector. Now B vector is directed downwards. So in which direction your electrons will be there? Okay, do one thing.
Upward. Sir,
Let
the
us, okay, let
current
us do
will
one
be
thing.
in upward direction.
Okay, let us do one thing. Let us consider that the current flowing and it is because of this positive charges. Okay, so the positive charge is definitely going to move downwards, right? So if it is moving downwards at velocity v, then twist your just place your fingers along the direction of this vd. Forget about the electrons. Let us consider that it is the positive charges which are moving. Okay.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
is it clockwise?
No, you do one thing. First, you assume that the current is flowing. Okay, first you do, okay, let me tell you how you are going to solve the problem. Now, the first thing, first consider the configuration A. Okay. So, if you are considering the configuration A, then the current is directed from the top to the bottom like this. Okay. Is it okay to you all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now another thing is that in case of the movement of current, it is same as that of the movement of positive charge. Okay. Now the positive charge is moving at drift velocity. So I will place all my four fingers along the direction of your VD, and I will curl my fingers towards this B vector which is directed into the screen. Now, if you do that, you will see that your thumb is pointing along the F vector. Isn't it? Is it or not?
Yes, sir. Sir, I solved it in a little different way.
Okay, tell me,
So,
because always every time many students they used to solve it in different manners. Tell me your method.
so the current is going in clockwise direction. So I
The
curled my
current,
finger,
uh,
and so I got the direction of magnetic field inside the plane, into the plane,
okay,
and
fine.
the magnetic field is which is already present there.
Uh,
Uh, that is also into the plane. So they both magnetic field will get added up, and the magnetic field will increase. And to increase this, and to since the magnetic field is increasing,
there
this
must be
rod will
something which.
position
Yes, tell
there.
me.
This rod will change its position according to that, in such a manner that the field inside this loop will not
Okay.
increase, will remain
Okay,
constant.
I got it. I got it. You are actually applying Lenz law. Okay.
Yes,
Are you
sir.
applying this Lenz law?
Something similar. I don't know the name of that law, but I
My
know that.
goodness, what a brilliant way you have found out. Do you know this law is actually known as Lenz law? Brilliant
Uh,
mind, brilliant mind.
I I
Congratulations.
saw this I saw this type of solution in some book. That's why I remember this. I don't know
Okay,
the name
that's
of this
so
law.
nice of you. That's so nice of you. Brilliant idea. Great mind. Please nourish your mind in this manner. You are absolutely a genius for me. Because even when I was a student, no doubt I was a good student, but I could not imagine it in that way. Neither I have ever expected any student of your first year to think in this manner. That's great of you. What's your name?
Sudhanshu.
Eh?
Sudhanshu
Sudhanshu Pradhan.
Prasad, sir.
Okay. So nice of you. You have actually used this Lenz law. What does this Lenz law? We'll study no doubt in chapter 28, but that always says that whatever is because everything tries to be in a constant state. Now if there is an increase or decrease, if there is an increase, the system will always try to decrease the effect. so that sorry, decrease the source of the effect. Okay, so over here you have used that, no doubt, that is absolutely correct. But let me tell you, these types of answers no doubt are correct, and they were very impressive. But always remember that try to find the solution is the least easiest manner. No doubt, because let me share a very interesting story to you all. Maybe most of you have heard about it. Once upon a time, there was a factory which was actually making packet soaps. Okay, have you heard the story? Anybody?
No, sir.
Okay, let me share it to you. You will enjoy it. So there was a factory which was actually manufacturing soap bars, means bathing soap bars, and there was a packaging department, and in the packaging department there was some problem. What was the machine that was packing this inside this cartoon or the inside this packets, sometimes they used to miss out the soaps inside this packet, and empty packets used to be marketed. So people started complaining that you people are cheating us by giving us empty packets. So naturally, what the company did is that they thought of a solution for this, and they consulted a German firm that such and such problem is taking place. What we are actually trying to do is that we are trying to package this soap bars inside paper packets, and sometimes it so happens that some of the packets remains empty without any soap. So the German company told that okay, we will take around 2 to 3 months to design your packaging system. We'll program our computers, we'll program your hardware so that there will be no such problem. Okay, that's well and good. But during these 3 months, obviously they are going to lose their reputation. So one of their staff, who was like Sudhanshu, okay, not like Sudhanshu, he was actually not a very well educated fellow, but he was responsible, he is a foreman, and he told that, sir, why to spend some crores for this consultancy? I have a better solution. So everybody laughed. So you are not that qualified and you are telling that you have a better solution. Okay, tell me your solution. So he told that, sir, we will install a very big industrial fan. So whenever any packet is empty without a soap bar inside it, that will fly away. Got the point? You understood this thing?
Yes, sir.
That means you can design the same system in a complicated manner. You can also design the same system in a simple manner. But remember, every time simplicity never works. Okay. So there are certain, obviously, for projecting our Mangalyaan to Mars. Now, US has spent a lot of effort, lot of time, and lot of budget, but we are the one who has landed this our mission. We have completed our mission at the least cost. The cost was even less than the cost of 4 rupees per kilometer. The reason, maybe someday I will tell you how we Indians have thought a very different way and a very fruitful way to launch our mission. So actually they were using booster rockets in their project, whereas we are using some simple mathematical calculations in which when a satellite is or a orbiting object is moving towards its foci or its focus, it gains a lot of speed, and over there if you will just inject a booster rocket for a short time, it will inject it to a higher radius. So this is how the system works. So that is why engineers must have a good logic. So I am very proud of you all. So he has answered it in such a way. I am really, really very impressed because even I haven't seen anybody to think out of the box. Okay, he has answered it correctly. But I know most of you have not actually understood his answer. It's well and good. Doesn't matter. Uh, have you understood? Okay, let us come back to our point. Have you understood this problem? Yes, everybody? or is there any other problem in this solution? Yes, tell me. Yes, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Can you repeat that again? How this
Okay,
thing, how the direction is determined?
okay, once again I am telling you. So I have these two slides, okay, rails, and this is the sliding bar. Now let us do one thing. I'll have the plus over here, minus over here. So this is configuration A. Now what you will do, we have connected it to this conductor. Sorry, we have not actually connected to this conductor. We have connected it to one of the rails. This is the other rail. Okay. Now you see, when this happens, the current, I have told you that it always flows in a closed path. So the current is actually going to flow in this path. Now when the current is going to flow in this path, your positive charge is actually going to move at drift velocity downwards like this. So this is your drift velocity Vt. Okay. Now your field is directed into the surface of the screen. So if you will arrange or align your fingers along this Vd and you will curl your fingers towards the screen, you will see that your right hand thumb is projecting in this direction. Okay, got it? Got it or not? Yes, hello? Are you getting what I am saying or not?
Yes. So that means the magnetic field will be inside the plane in
Yes,
this
of course.
inside this
Yes.
loop and outside the plane where you have drawn this arrow.
No,
Am I
no.
right?
The field is actually moving from your is moving inside your monitor. Okay, it is just moving away from your eyesight into the screen. Okay.
Mhm.
Now,
So the direction will be same in both inside the loop and outside the loop
yes, yes,
in
of
both the
course. Everywhere, this entire arrangement is actually placed inside a uniform magnetic field, which is directed towards the screen like this. Got it? Or is there any other doubt? Yes? Any other doubt? So don't worry, if you are still having any doubt, I can clear it right now. Okay. So we'll stop our class over here. Tomorrow we'll start solving some mathematical problems. We'll complete it into full. And in the second half, I'll be running the video for chapter number 28. Okay. Still, if you are having any sort of doubt, we can also clear it tomorrow. And maybe today by evening, I'll be sending you these slides.